She looks as untamed as the wolf she rides. I know little of dwarven death rituals. What role does this woman play?
Spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
Mistress, mother, she blessed us all.
We are an
Perfect
inspiration
dwarven
to our
craftsmanship.
people.
Right here.
That inspiration. We're an example.
In life, we are Earth's caretakers. In death, we are the skies.
The eagle glowers at you with one baleful eye, keeping the other eye firmly trained on the stringy morsels of rotting flesh dangling from its beak.
You dare touch Master's gifts. No invitation. Leave now. Leave me and Master alone.
We were picked off
The
by
eagle
spies.
glowers,
You dare.
Glory and no point to it either.
biting deep into the rotting flesh. Your senses are assailed with a rank odor of meat long past its prime. Your memory wavers and becomes not your own, but the memory of one who led the most solitary of lives. You see myriad wings flapping, your hand scattering birdseed. You hear the screeching of eagles, the tearing of flesh. All of your life is centered on this place, this pedestal of death. All of your life is dedicated to feeding your eagles the meat of your dearly departed people.
We died gloriously.
Plenty of souls will rest easier now that Riker's dead. Not all, but plenty. You're God-woken, ain't you? You've a certain something about your aura. Don't ask me why. But someone out there's got it in for you and everyone like you.
Two dwarven spirits at loggerheads.
I recognize the lass. The Royal Guard had come to Bon Neffen, right on the sea. The poor, they were disappearing off the streets. The lass spoke out. The guard wanted her silent.
In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. Your masculine side is a royalist, loyal to the monarch he loves. As the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the Royal Guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting pot of Driftwood and Reaper's Coast. But in Driftwood, you visit the lizard.
Yeah, we're all curious from time to time. I don't blame him a bit. Sometimes you've got to let loose the beast.
You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother, and find him fighting for his life against the dwarves who would rob him. Both of you die.
Damn it. Damn it all to hell. Just kids, both of them.
But your killers do right by their fellow dwarves, and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity. One convinced that the Queen is a tyrant, the other that your treason was wrong.
I want to say something trite, like, can't they just get along? But I know it's not so easy. Nothing is. Especially doing what you think is right. You see clearly then. He stood up for her. She stood up for everybody. It's the true measure of a heart. How you treat not those closest to you, but those you've never even met. His was big, but hers was bigger.
The sister smiles. She feels vindicated. Her brother still does not agree. The rebellion was a disaster. The rebellion was a mistake that cost them their lives. The sister has...
The rain's sweeter, knowing that freak of an elf won't stalk these cobbles no more.
I spotted something.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same rotation. The plinth of the statue... You cringe at the sculpture. The sculpture...
What's this? I found something. Some potion that can calm her.
A man paces back and forth, puffing anxiously on a pipe. His face is creased with tiredness. The faint coppery hue of dried blood stains his hands. He sees you,
If you're looking for healing or the like, then you'd best look elsewhere. My plate is full for now.
The man chomps on the bit of his pipe, generating a small cloud of nervous smoke. Finally, he plucks it from his mouth and clears his throat.
I came by a new patient, a young woman, very troubled. I'll do what I can for her, but I'll need to concentrate. And that means...
He gestures with his pipe for you to leave.
I'm still trying to figure that out. She seems afflicted with some sort of rabidness. It makes her difficult to approach and nigh on impossible to treat. I had no choice but to lock her in my cellar. For her safety and my own. This isn't someone with a broken leg who needs to be held still. This is serious and dangerous. Fine. You can help. Take this key and go to the cellar. I'll join you there. Just be careful. I wasn't jesting before. She was already a powerful sorcerer by the looks of things. But whatever it is that's happened to her, it's left her dangerous. Need to get...
Across the cellar, a shape bearing some resemblance...
She senses us. Be calm and quiet. No sudden moves. You're right. I hadn't noticed before. Couldn't get close enough. We have to help her. Maybe we can reverse whatever was done to her. All right. We need her subdued, understand? Do whatever you can to weaken her. Just don't go too far or you might kill her.
Another gurgle, sharper, angrier. Then the sound of rapid footfalls rushing towards you. The young woman lies still on the floor, her breathing an uneven rasp. Swan's satchel of surgical tools lies nearby. Swan approaches, cradling his arm with a grimace of pain.
Those summons of hers broke my arm. I'll do what I can to help, but the rest is up to you. Tread carefully. One false move and she's dead.
Swan carefully holds her head steady with his one good arm. Something moves along her exposed lobe. It's a maggot of some kind. The maggot is caught in the pinch of the tweezers and plucked off in a single, swift movement. The woman's breathing has grown shallow as she hovers between life and death. All you can do is close her up and hope for the best. You replace the extracted bone and bind it with copper hooks. Then you draw the scalp back in place and start stitching the incision shut. The woman's breathing grows stronger, more even. Colour flushes her cheeks.
She's alive. You did it. I've never seen anything like that, not in 20 years. I'll tend to her here for a while. She shouldn't be moved yet. She'll want to thank you once she comes round, I'm sure.
The young woman blinks as she struggles to focus her vision on you. She looks weak, pale, but already visibly more human.
It's you. I remember your face in the darkness. You saved me. The Magisters arrested me in Arx for sorcery. They strapped me to a table, and they put something in my head. Something alive. They put me on a caravan bound for Fort Joy. They said I was going to become a pet for the hammer. I could feel myself changing. I tore off the shackles that held me, like they were parchment. I remember hearing screams, feeling the blood of others on my hands, in my mouth. Then I ran, and then I woke up here.
That was damn fine work you pulled off there. Consider me in your debt. I'll keep an eye on her until she's ready to fend for herself. If you find yourself in need of potions or healing, be sure to come to me. It's the least I can do. Help yourself. Everything till next time. Take care of yourself.
What's this? I found something.
Help! I'm down here! A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you dig me up? Well, I used to be... Wait. Who did I used to be? I can say with confidence who I am now, at least. A thinker. The likes of which you've never known and never will. Don't worry. There's nothing funny about me.
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. The moistest bits are still stuck in his cracks and crevices.
Thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much. Except, you know, the wisdom of the ages.
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Are you questioning my intellect? You think you say more sooth than me, a verified soothsayer.
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. A weak soul may not survive the bond, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. Battle is dangerous, is it not? I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. The angst can prove terminal to the weak-willed. Oh, it's easy. We link up souls and share our innermost beliefs. Think of it like an innocent little duel. The winner remains comfortable with their personal truths. The loser, well, oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my ribcage here, right over where my heart would be, if, well, you know.
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your finger away and it remains glued to the bone.
All right, mister. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate knowledge. Pretty great answer, eh? Can you do better than that?
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body from toe to head, then back again.
Well, but... let's just move on to the next question. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants, is there such thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. Oh, gods, I can hardly bear to... All right, I need to get a hold of myself.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
One last query. Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh-ho! I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side.
I can't bear this existential agony. What have you...
An ancestor tree. Pure grace in an undeserving world.
The spirit ignores your presence, busy as it is resisting the pull of another. The ancestor tree, trying to take its... The spirit ignores your presence. The spirit ignores your presence. The roots of a great ancestor tree reach from deep underground to the surface above and beyond. But this tree feels tainted. You are a scion of the elves. The mother tree demands your blood. You do not have a choice. She has a plan, and you must serve her with your death. You heed your mother's wishes and take root. But then you hear a voice, a friendly whisper from beyond. The voice knows you. He understands you. He loves you. He offers you your freedom and asks but one small service in return. Grateful, you accept. In an instant, you are an elf once more, walking in the world. But your new friend begins to make demands. Small services, then larger and more often. They cause you pain. At last, he bids you guard your tree. He expects you shall have guests. You shall kill the Godwoken when they come. Then you shall be free. The thought occurs. The sign replaced one bad deal with another.
No such thing as luck, only self-earned success. Or as in this case, self-earned failure.
Everyone's in charge of their own fate. Sounds to me like this incent has down the drain.
To trade one's soul for immortality and then lose out on your prize? That is unfortunate, no matter the circumstances.
That story hits a little too close to home. Poor luckless fool.
Spare me this elven strife. I cannot.
Desperation leads to stupidity. Among the stupid, anyway.
Fire to ash, from ember to flame.
It's hard not to feel some pride in reptilian engineering. I watched an elf spend hours trying to force his way into a lizard's chest. Eventually, he threw it into the flames. But still it sits there, indestructible. He did not leave empty-handed, unfortunately. I pity the poor salamander that he dragged back to his ghastly home.
Kin, you speak to Cure, hatched from the egg of Zora. It pleases Cure to speak to lizards once more. But why does a dragonkin leave the ancient empire? Why does a dragonkin come to such a dark place?
You stare in shock. It's speaking perfect old tongue. You'd have no idea what it was saying if you weren't well versed in the Empire's ancient texts.
A celestial champion. Cure expects nothing less from a kin. Our old master would be proud. Has the Empire fallen so far? The old master would never have allowed such folly. Cure's old master taught Cure. Consul Zara, esteemed lizard Gonzo, was the most prestigious master until the elf killed Consul Zara.
The lizard lets out a low, rumbling hiss.
Killed Zara for gold. Then he stole Zara's chest and stole Cure away.
The lizard's tongue flickers, a wry grin spreading across its snout.
The elf could not open it. Its magic was beyond the creature. In a rage, It was thrown into the graveyard's eternal flames, where it burned and burns still. My master's magic is powerful, and it will never fail. The chest sits safely burning until the eternal flames with.
The lizard's eyes, cold, search your face for a moment.
Cure has hoped to keep his master's secrets until the end of time. But it is right that a kin of your majesty should know. If you can douse the fire, good prince, sing these words. The chest will open for you like a cracked egg. Honor the memory of Hure's master. She deserves nothing less.
The lizard hisses dismissive.
All apes look alike. They dress in black, but come in all shapes. Tall humans, stunted dwarves, creatures that stink of death. All that is known is they arrived with gold and left with the promise that people will die.
Melee took place here, with House of Shadows assassins from the looks of it. I dread a dream undone. His spirit, it beckons to me. A lone witness to the carnage that must have happened here. I must speak with it. There is an urgency in its bearing that cannot be denied.
The Red Prince addresses the lizard spirit. He turns out to be a dreamer, long dead, who speaks archaically and sings in a truly ancient tongue.
Rav Mudon, Anan Eket, Vetu Duran.
Like a lullaby, the melody lulls them both to sleep until, with a start, the Red Prince wakes once more.
My word. Even I, not in my wildest, most demon-lusting dreams, could have guessed a destiny such as this. A tale too preposterous to be believed, and yet so ultimately, so undeniably true once told. The race of lizards, all of us, we were dragons once. Great red dragons. Somehow, eons ago, we withered. We shrank, our wings shriveled. Never more to be the majestic creatures we once were. Until now. I am to be the father of dragons, and she, the Red Princess, is to be the mother. But of course she is the mother already now that we have lain together. I must find her. I must know she and my children will be safe.
The spirit sings a long-forgotten tune. The boots are resplendent with polished ivory, heavy but well made, fit for a noble. The air around you glows with sudden heat. Specks of ash fall from the sky, summoning a fractured memory. Dig, work, deeper. By the Empress's order, you have to go deeper. As the memory fades, ghostly flames flicker on the surface of the polished sabatons.
I see you. You have the strength I've been looking for. Patience. You must prove yourself worthy of such answers. Find where the archaeologist cut into the earth. I will draw strength from there to speak again.
The voice vanishes, but the bone-deep longing remains. You must dig in the east. You must. A terrible chill pervades the air as the ashen vision fades. Someone new is watching you. The spirit keeps glancing back. But how can I help? The chest before you is wreathed in flame, but doesn't seem to be actually burning. The flames dance above the ancient pictograms depicting lizards and the ancient empire. You lean in to examine the images further. The chest before you is covered in old ancient empire pictograms. You consider trying to find some lockpicks in your bag, but looking at the chest, you don't see any keyhole. You hear a deep rumbling from inside the chest, and a voice emerges. It hisses and clicks at you in the old tongue, your people's ancient language.
This chest recognizes Consul Zara as master. Speak her words or return me to the flames.
With a quiet click, the lid of the chest swings open. The spirit of a dwarf frowns at you, suspicion drawing the lines of his face.
I don't hear any pickaxes! No shovels! Where are my lazy diggers? We can't be wasting time! The Empress will have me head, and then all of yours! You don't know the Outlaw Empress? She'd gut you for the disrespect. So best get digging before she gets back. The site's close. It has to be. There's more stones to break, more earth to turn. We need to get there.
Like the air itself's been petrified.
At first, you might think the figure is a simple stone.
Nothing but bone dust. Even the petrified aren't immune to the ravages of time, it seems.
2 fingers of dust have settled on this petrified figure. The petrified woman cannot speak, but her eyes glow with the fury of the sun.
Well, isn't this rich? Cursed by a coffin and rescued by a tree hugger. The indignity.
She huffs in annoyance and rolls her eyes.
Oh, all this trouble, and for nothing. Never figured I'd need frost armor. You want me to spoil the story before you see how it ends? I'd never be so rude.
She purses her lips and coyly tilts her head.
Oh, but do forgive me. I haven't offered you proper thanks.
She bows in insincere reverence. Her arm rests on her back, hand mere inches from her staff. She rises from her bow, her face frozen in fear, you presume? It isn't long, however, before she shakes her expression away and takes a defensive stance.
Oh, your type is so predictable. Spot a problem and you grab a blade and get to stabbing.
A jolt of cursed fire flares from her staff.
Anathema will be mine.
I'm ready!
Greet the Reaper for me.
The spirit's lip curls upwards. She opens her mouth as if to speak, but her words fade in the tomb's chill. The longer you gaze, the more your inner source churns. You are drawn into her, her mind, her body, her past. They are no longer hers, but yours. You sit at a fire. At your left lies a black dog, basking in the warmth. Others huddle behind you. A young elf, a grizzled dwarf, and a skeleton, an undead. You hold a parchment up to the light and point at it. It is there that Anathema can be found. The sky is dark, and the roaring fire is now a sad flicker. The others lie around it in a circle, but you hear no snores. Their chests neither rise nor fall. Their eyelids never twitch. You look to your left. The dog's yellow eyes lock with yours, and the two of you turn from the ring of corpses. And you gasp as you are thrust into the present. You take a few deep heaves, then glance at the spirit. Her mouth continues to gabble, but you're grateful that only silence reaches your ears.
I will not.
Above, look at all these bones. I spotted something. Still stuck. There must be another one. I spotted something. Ah, success. Oh, it's shut tight. The door! Ah, it's locked fast. Ah, it's locked. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. What did that do? Maybe this one? Could have gone better. I'll try a different order. What did that do? Maybe this one? Hear that? It did something. Treasure chests! I'm sure the ghosts won't mind if I keep a souvenir. Or 3.
Unlike so many other spirits, this one is hardly silent. She clicks and squawks the moment you approach her, like a cornered crow facing down a hungry owl.
Are you the new servant, then? You look like you'd snap if I so much as poked you with a twig. You brought my tea, have you?
The spirit takes the invisible cup from you and takes a sip of non-existent liquid.
I've tasted better brews, but from the look of you, the refreshments won't be improving.
She waits a moment.
You expecting a tip? Well, here's one. Soap. Use it. That old thing, it was passed to me by my father Johannius, and my father's father Johannius, and my father's 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 father Johannius. Don't know what happened to the one in the middle. Don't rightfully know what it's supposed to do. Johannius, the umpteens, brought it back from Blood Moon Island. I thought it might be good for stirring stew, but the cook gave it back. Said it made her feel funny. Whatever that... Mama cannot good.
The spirit stands there smiling, utterly oblivious to her own outburst, leaving you to ponder the strange words she shouted. Mamtenem rnect udil.
What just happened? You mean my display of proper posture and etiquette? The benefits of charm school, I don't expect you to qualify. Hurry back.
The translucent blade glows as if lit. Feel the unusual object's vast energy before your hand even touches its smooth surface. Upon contact, the semi-transparent artifact shivers and speaks. Yet it is with a heavy heart that you realize this artifact intones the same unrecognizable language as the one you found on Blood Moon Island.
Adan, Shvalon Dumorav Narvur Revelis, Awenu Arye, Demchu Sha'an.
The shard responds with another sequence of unusual and ominous words. This language is beyond your comprehension. The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by mark. The object repeats.
What the hell? dead. Well, more dead. This thing speaks to me. But what is it trying to say?
Sounds like a demon with a swollen tongue. I wonder if what's inside is as pleasant as a demon with a swollen tongue.
Doesn't make any sense. I don't want to find out if that's a warning or an invitation.
My tongue! It's speaking the language of the Eternals. I mean, it is gibberish, but such beautifully phrased gibberish.
Wild guess here, but I'll wager this relic will turn out useful for killing. Somehow.
It has a nice rhythm to it, doesn't it? Kind of like a song. Beautiful language.
Sounds like any other plea for mercy to me. Utter nonsense.
Ah, you again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb? Well, that's a relief. Not the most accommodating sorcerer I've known. Still, I'd sooner toil outside the gates than in. His aura leaves a most unpleasant aftertaste.
He places his hand on the artifact, and it drones in its strange language. Adan, Shvalon Dumora Vavur Rivilis, Awanu Ari, Dem Chushan. The object continues. Sarden Menye Veet Feln, Dom Drisval Veet Evdekais.
It's true then. Anathema. Within reach. Tell me, is this all there was? There weren't any other curios in there? Ah, I just remembered why I prefer to work alone. Very well. This is the hand grip of the fabled Anathema. A sword capable of annihilating anyone, even a divine. Imagine it. Holding in your hand a force that could wipe away sun and shadow. A sword of life and death, miracle and sin. A sword of atonement. I can restore Anathema to working condition, but this is only half of it. We still need the blade. How fortunate that the hilt has already told us where to find it. Blood Moon Island. Isle of Vaults, yada yada yada, Priest Surrey, and so on and so forth. Wow. And it even revealed an exact location. I'll mark it on your map. An exorcised demon living in a sword of glass. The hilt was brought here by one of the many Surreys. Not surprised. None of them sound too bright. I can't imagine having even half a demonic sword around was very healthy for that feeble-minded family. They probably winced whenever a black cat came around.
The blade quivers as Tarquin nears it, and hums a response. Anand Falen Reveil. Amadio, Vlucio, de Anme Drita Dumores.
Oh, very good. Very, very, very good. This, my friend, is the key. Give me some time, and every deity in existence will tremble at the sight of you.
He holds out his hand expectantly. The crystalline artifact is both... The shard responds. The translucent blade...
Ah, you again. Any luck in old lady...
He places the object.
Tell me, is this all there was? There weren't any other curios in there? Ah, very well. Imagine, I can restore Anathema to working condition.
The blade.
Oh, very. This might.
He holds out his hand,
Lovely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must work.
Tarquin turns away, but continues to mutter excitedly, almost religiously about Anathema.
Let me think. A sprinkling of skull dust, a vial of dog's drool, dried illweed, a few more odds and ends, and I can get back to the ship.
Bloody shambles, this. My thanks for your help.
He takes a pull from a water canteen, then splashes some over his blood-stained hands.
No, it ain't mine. A sorcerer fugitive was hiding here. Some of the locals were stupid enough to help him. We got a tip-off, but he wasn't willing to go quietly. These Voidwoken appeared, thanks to him. It was messy. A lot of the locals didn't make it, and those that did, well, there's a price for helping sorcerers.
Any trace of gratitude for your help against the Voidwoken drains away in an instant.
Take my advice and don't say another word, hear me? Sorcerers brought this plague down on us. Them and the sort of folk who see fit to help, they'll all get what they deserve. You can join them if you like, otherwise you can shut your trap. What the hell do you think it means?
He pats the pommel of his sword, his hand still tinted with dried blood. Little doubt whom it belongs to anymore.
Damned idiot! You asked for this!
Say, Anathema.
The spirit of a woman cowers before you. She has her hand clamped over her mouth in a desperate effort to stifle the whimpering. Something catches her eye. Terror swamps her, and she slips to the floor, screaming.
Help! Somebody! Help! Void worker!
The feet of this statue are slick and you are relieved.
Villagers. Some slain by Voidwoken. Others perhaps not.
The spirit of a matronly woman stands before you. She shakes her head as she soundlessly argues with someone unseen. A faint sound catches your ear, the rasp of metal upon leather, a sword unsheathed. The spirit's eyes bulge with panic. She raises her arms protectively. A chilling sensation passes right through you. For a moment, it sounds like you can hear a distant male voice utter a confused, "Huh?" The woman's eyes seem to fix upon you, a brief flash of lucidity.
Big Magister did this. He didn't care that I was innocent. I heard them call him Stanley as I bled out on the ground.
The moment passes. There's another swish of metal through the air. The spirit collapses backwards, a silver gash opening the full width of her torso.
These people were slain by blades, not Voidwoken. More slaughter. Killed by Voidwoken, who were killed in turn themselves.
The spirit of a dwarf woman stares despondently at her body and those of her loved ones.
A word of the wise, friend. Never help a sorcerer. They'll only bring death in their wake. You're the same as the one who did this. Dragging monsters into our homes and taking none of the responsibility. Get away from me.
An executioner's blade hovers inches above a young woman's throat. The nearby magister drones a prayer with all the passion of a silent monk's empty gaze.
The divine does not absolve a traitor of his grace. You've tended not to the seed the seven have planted. Without faith, it cannot flourish.
He gives you a cool look and nods to a bloody corpse in magister's garb.
That's the welcome the Crossleys give to law-abiding magisters. Sorcerers, though, they get bathed and fed. Ain't that right, woman?
The young woman squeezes her eyes shut in terror, but says nothing. The executioner raises his blade. The magister slides his finger along the shivering woman's cheek and motions to the executioner to stand down.
Oh, but you are such a delicate thing, aren't you? Very well. We've given the wolves and worms enough to feast on. Besides...
He passes his gaze over the woman's remaining family, then to a corpse bleeding out nearby. A child's corpse.
You prefer death to living with your fatal mistake. I trust you'll all remember your lost little boy the next time you think of defying the Order. Not just one sorcerer, two. Master and apprentice. White Magister Kari's got the greenhorn on the ropes right now, no doubt. Only a matter of time before he blabs about that mentor of his. He'll talk. They always do. Now move aside. We've got business elsewhere. So that's the way of it, is it? Let's get this done.
Glory is mine! I'll yield to none! Glory is mine!
I yield to none.
Just a child. Dear Lucy, save us from this hell.
The young man grunts as he fruitlessly tries to free his hands from the heavy knotted rope.
Thanks.
He looks to his slain brother's body. His eyes well with tears, though none break free.
We didn't deserve this. We didn't deserve any of this.
Can you untie me? Thank you.
Her tear-stained cheeks quiver as she surveys the blood-spattered floorboards.
It's like a bad nightmare. Except you never wake up.
Thanks, stranger.
The grieving mother manages a thin smile, even as tears stream down her ruddy face.
Thank you, stranger.
She blinks out more tears, then rubs them away with the back of her hand and puts on the bravest of faces.
To lose a child. It's a mother's worst fear. I never imagined. It was more than just intention.
Her eyes move to the young corpse laid near, then dart quickly away.
They started with my youngest, Henrik, so full of life. I'm grateful for your sympathy, but it's not your burden to bear. It's true, you know, what the Magister said. My brother's boy, Gideon, he's got source in him. Now that his folks are gone, we've all he's got. We thought we could keep him safe. He's not got a spot of malice. He can't help who he is. But when the Magisters came snooping, he panicked. We all did.
She glances at the Magister corpse and shivers. Another tear drips down her cheek.
Shouldn't have let that Hanag woman near Gid. She said she could teach him, but that's when all the trouble started.
Her mouth falls open, but she does not respond. Instead, she shakes and sobs.
As soon as the Magister fell, Gid knew what he'd done. He didn't even struggle when they dragged him away. Gods know where they took him. I've already lost more than I can bear today. I pray to the Seven I haven't lost him too. You will? Oh, bless you. Bless you.
She ekes out another thin smile.
Make sure he's safe. And if you can, bring him back to me.
He scans the dead.
Magister.
The bereaved father weeps.
Are you proud? Proud to stand in the way of justice? Proud that you'd allow Voidwoken to raise the land? Proud of your wrongs?
A crooked sneer surfaces from the spirit's deep pit of contempt.
I know that justice starts with duty. I know that it starts with a code.
His sneer widens.
I know your type. You have no code. You blindly ricochet from one conflict to the next, stirring the pot while scolding the virtuous. You pretend to have honor, but you're a fraud.
How could they?
I can't breathe. Get it off. Yeah! Just stand still, sir. Handle it. Ah! Cecil, get it off!
I can't, sir. I think it's getting tighter.
A purple-faced Magister claws at a strange organic breastplate. His comrade tries desperately to open it, but to no avail. It's bound by thin vines burrowing into flesh. You recognize it as part of the Scion Diana's spore armor.
Yes, exactly. Do you know what to do?
The breastplate writhes, tendrils pressed tight into flesh. The Magister's eyes roll wildly.
It's whispering. Make it stop. Make it stop. Ah!
The Magister recoils, pulling against you, but it works in your favor. The armor creaks and he wrenches free, leaving scraps of skin behind. He gives you one wild-eyed, grateful nod and keels over.
Right. Oh, thank the gods. Thank you.
Don't hurt me. Like I told them magisters, the sorcerer ain't here. He's holed up in that Crossley house yonder.
The colour drains from her face.
Well, I didn't mean... Obviously, look, serves him right for sheltering sorcerers. Magisters told me to stand out front till they caught the sorcerer, and I don't want to upset them when they're on the warpath.
She closes her eyes and begins to whisper.
Everything's going to be all right. 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 Everything's going to be all right.
Who are you?
The spirit stares down at his own corpse, a bemused look upon his face. He turns to you, so fast you don't see the movement. His eyes look blank, as if the void has touched them. He tries to speak, but lacks the strength to do more than croak 2 words.
The black.
The man brandishes a sword, ready to fight. A curious weapon, simple but weighty. It seems out of place in the hands of a simple worker, if that's what he is. You have your doubts, for the sword exudes an evil power.
Back, Magister, or I'll cut your guts for ribbons like I did the last fella. The Magisters are dead. What? All of them? And you did that? I don't know whether to thank you or fit. You have them. And with that, I shall leave.
He gives you a stiff salute, then climbs the ladder to face his destiny. The thought occurs. The Magisters have strayed from the path of Lucian.
The louder people shout in a god's name, the duller becomes their understanding of its message. Lucian would be appalled.
That's what happens when you give any few people too much power. Goes straight to their heads, and it's the common folk that pay the price.
Their dedication to their cause is almost admirable. If one could admire a pack of red-cloaked baboons.
Were they ever on it?
Nothing like a zealot to get the message wrong. Sometimes I think the people who make the most ruckus are the ones who don't really get it deep down.
Wolves in sheep's clothing. That's all these Magisters are. We've seen it proven time and again.
Sorry, Dad.
my father's house.
He sighs.
Well, there's nothing left for me here.
If he were the crying type, he'd shed a tear, but that doesn't seem to be his way. You leave him to it. The spirits.
This was my father.
He sighs.